Conservative new media viewers, LA Lakers fans around the world, J-Lin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFE, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss in a long video format the Lakers' 123-118 double overtime victory tonight over the Chicago Bulls. Now, I'm making this vid took me a little bit longer to get started on this than I thought it would take, so I apologize for that. I got caught up watching men's tennis, the Australian Open semifinal between Novak Djokovic and Stan Wawrinka. Great match, and it's going on as I make this video right now. Third set tied 1 set apiece. Okay, let's go over statistics quickly for the Lakers. They were led by Jordan Hill, 26 points, 12 rebounds. Wayne Ellington, 23 points, 5 rebounds. Jordan Clarkson, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Carlos Boozer, 16 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. Jeremy Lin, 11 points in 27 minutes, 5 of 11 shooting from the field. No three-pointers attempted, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 0 rebounds, 5 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocked shots, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul, and Jeremy's plus-minus was a -5. Bulls got 35 points. That ties a career high for Jimmy Butler, along with 7 rebounds. Pau Gasol, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Joakim Noah, 9 points, 17 rebounds, 9 assists, so he almost had a triple-double. Derrick Rose, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Problem for Derrick is he had scored 17 points, but he took 26 shots to get it, which is very poor efficiency. Aaron Brooks, 15 points. Tony Snell, 10 points. Now, what happened in this game was the Lakers were up by 11 points at the half. The Bulls cut it down to 4 points going into the fourth quarter. And then the Lakers looked like everything was set. They were kind of pulling away, and they were in really good shape with about a minute and a half left in regulation. They went up 98-89. And then in the next 1 minute and 18 seconds of game time, from that point on, the Lakers lost their entire lead. So they were up 9 to tied at 98 with 11 seconds left in the game. And then the Lakers took a timeout. They drew up a play. Jordan Hill got a shot, a little jump hook against Pau Gasol, and he missed it. And so we were going to overtime, and it looked like the Lakers had blown everything. Their momentum was gone. Bulls had all the momentum, and they carried that momentum into overtime, where they took a 105-100 lead. But the Lakers fought back, and they outscored Chicago in the first overtime from that point on, 6-1. And that made it 106-106 at the end of the first overtime. We went into the second overtime, and the Bulls were not able to stay with the Lakers. The Lakers just kind of slowly pulled away, and pretty soon it was too far out of reach. And even though the Bulls cut it down to 5 points at the end of the game, it was a 9-point game soon before that. And they just were not able to overcome the 9-point deficit this time. That's, like I said, that's what happened. It would have been a disaster if the Lakers would have blown that 9-point lead in regulation, and that would have been kind of like the how the game turned, and then the Bulls ended up winning. But that wasn't the case, and so it ended up being a really good win for the Lakers. And the young guys got a lot of run in this game. Bryant went with a lineup late of Jordan Clarkson, Wayne Ellington. I think he went with Wesley Johnson late in the regulation. rather than Ryan Kelly, who Ryan started the game. Jordan Hill and Robert Sacre were the guys that started. And I think those are the guys that kind of closed out the game, with the exception of Wesley Johnson coming in for Ryan Kelly at some point. And I'm talking about the last maybe 5 minutes of regulation and then both overtimes. Also, Robert Sacre at some point fouled out of the game, so he had to be replaced with Carlos Boozer. But basically, Byron stayed with that unit. I didn't put anybody else in. And look, Jordan wasn't perfect tonight, but he had some really nice moments in this game. And he definitely showed some things, and I was happy for him. He played well, and the team was able to get the win. Now, how did Jeremy do? I read off his statistics. Jeremy played well in this game. The only thing you could say about him, and I know people said it to me on Twitter, was that he missed some layups around the rim. But the thing with Jeremy is he'll take some high-risk layup attempts, and he needs to keep working on that. Work on floaters and runners and different little things to kind of get that percentage up. But he just has to. Overall, he's good at finishing at the rim, but he does sometimes have a tendency to kind of miss a few chippies around the rim. But it happens. I mean, he's an attacking, aggressive guard, and sometimes you're going to miss shots because of what your momentum is, and you're challenging a lot of big guys. So he's had the issue before. Just keep working to refine it, and he should be in good shape. Other than that, he played great. The shooting percentage was good. He had 5 assists to 2 turnovers, so 2.5 to 1 ratio. Yeah, you ideally make like maybe 3 to 1, but still it was good. One of the turnovers came late, and it was his fault, but it was Chicago really picked up their defense, and it was just I'll talk about it later. He made a pass he shouldn't have made, but Chicago knew it was coming. I mean, they really turned it up a level. He played well. He didn't get as many minutes as Jordan did or Wayne Ellington did, but in the time that he was on the court, he played well. Jordan Clarkson got 43 minutes. Wayne Ellington got 46 minutes. Jeremy only got 27 minutes, but that's still pretty good. That's not nothing. And there was no way that Byron was going to put him back in late. He wasn't. I'm not going to say Byron wasn't going for the win. I mean, they wanted to win, but he's trying to evaluate these players, these starters. He's trying to look at them. What can they do? What can they not do? How are they going to react to certain situations? They already have a feel for Jeremy. And as Lucy said on Twitter, there's a good chance that Jeremy's not in their future plans, whether that's a smart decision or not. So I'm not surprised that this is what Byron did. I know a lot of Lin fans aren't happy, and I understand that. But I wasn't, it didn't surprise me in the least. I do think, and we've talked before about the did not play and all that for Jeremy, the healthy did not play. I think my guess is that Jeremy's going to play at least when the team is at home, because they need to sell tickets. And there's a lot of people that come to the games that support Jeremy Lin. Now, you might be able to get away with not playing him on the road, but at home, I don't think you're going to see that very much. That's just my guess, at least as long as you're getting good fan attendance, which the Lakers have been doing even since Kobe got injured again, which I'll talk about that in a second. So overall, the team performed well. They came back when they needed to come back. They overcame the blown lead late, and Jeremy played well. Jeremy, Todd mentioned it on Twitter. This was some of the best Jeremy Lin that I've seen in a few years. Todd said it reminded him of Lin in New York, and I agree with that. He had some very decisive attacking plays in this game. and he did them within the context of Byron Scott's offense. That's what makes it the most impressive. It wasn't Jeremy freelancing. It was kind of like he worked within that system and did it really well. So I was very happy with how he played. The biggest thing for a Lin fan, the disappointment in this, is that Jeremy didn't get to finish the game. But he wasn't going to finish the game, regardless of what happened. So I was happy with the way that he played during the time that he was on the court. Okay, let's discuss some of what was going on before the game, the kind of the lead up to the game before I get into more of the quarter by quarter stuff. Now, there's quite a bit here. So if you don't want to hear this and you just want to talk more about the game, then I would tell you to fast forward this by about 5 to 10 minutes or something. Now, the Lakers came into this game with a 9-game losing streak, and they were in danger. Had they lost against the Bulls, they would have tied the worst losing streak in franchise history, which is 10 games. And Byron was asked about that, and he said he would feel pretty messed up if that happened. So, look, this is a difficult season for the Lakers. I believe the Lakers have only missed the playoffs 6 times in their history coming into this year. So we're looking like a 7th time in this season, barring some incredible turnaround. And now you're looking to tie franchise losing streaks as well. So this is, it's a difficult year. This is a difficult period of time for LA, for the Lakers. And so it's a good thing. It's nice that they were able to win tonight so that they didn't have that mark on their ledger as well. Now, of course, Kobe, the last time we talked, Kobe had his rotator cuff surgery. He decided he was going to do the surgery. He had it on Wednesday, and it was successful, and it looks like Kobe will be out for 9 months. As I said on Twitter, from April 2013 through April 2015, which we haven't reached yet, but Kobe's not coming back this year. By the time we get to April 2015, for those 2 years, between April 13th, 2013, which is right after Kobe hurt his Achilles tendon, to April 2015, the Lakers will have played, assuming they don't make the playoffs, which they're not going to make. The Lakers will have played 170 games between the end of this regular season and April 13th, 2013. And Kobe will have played in 41 of them. So that is 24% of those 170 games. What that means is we're coming to the end for Kobe. Not that that's a surprise to anybody, but we've heard Kobe wants to come back from the rotator cuff, which is great. But we don't know how long his body's going to hold up next year. This is the third season in a row in which Kobe has had a season-ending injury. Achilles tendon, a knee fracture, I believe, and now the rotator cuff. When you get to the amount of mileage that Kobe is at, your body can go at any time. He's not, there are people older than Kobe. Duncan's older than Kobe. There are guys older than him. Andre Miller's the same age as him, I believe. Or actually, no, Andre Miller's older than Kobe. But Kobe has more minutes played. He has more mileage on his legs. And when you get to a certain level, anything can happen. And that's kind of where Kobe is at. So the Lakers have to plan for that. Now, of course, we know Kobe's going to help recruit free agents, and I hope he comes back and plays every single game next year. I hope he's healthy as heck. I'm not trying to diss him. It's more of a reality. This is the reason why the Spurs have rested Tim Duncan so much over the years, and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. You can't play the same way at 36 years old with the amount of mileage that Kobe has as you could when you were 25 years old with a lot less mileage. So the Lakers know that. They have to be careful with that. And like I said, look, hopefully Kobe will come back and feel great. They did do some experimenting this year with the minutes, so now there's a better sense of what Kobe probably, how many he should be playing and what's too many minutes. So hopefully next year will go well. Now, it was also reported by some of the people around the team, by the reporters, that Kobe is definitively coming back, according to some people around him. And Nick Young said that losing Kobe is difficult, but it could be a blessing in disguise for other guys to get a chance. That means Nick and Jeremy and Jordan Clarkson and Wayne Ellington. And that's true. When guys get hurt, then you do have a chance to develop your other players more, particularly when you lean on somebody as much as the Lakers have leaned on Kobe. So nobody wants Kobe hurt. And it's a shame that he got injured. But now the Lakers can give some of these younger guys more minutes, and hopefully that'll help them. The young guys develop their skills, and it help the Lakers evaluate them and see who they want to keep around and who they don't want to keep around. Finally, on Kobe's injury, Byron Scott was asked who was going to take the leadership role now that Kobe is hurt. And he said he didn't know, and then he guessed that it was going to be Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer being the next oldest guy on the team, the most senior and with the most veteran experience. Swaggy P missed this game. I believe it was because of, I think it was an ankle. I think he's having like ankle and some other injury as well. So he was out for this game. I also believe Tarek Black was out of this game. Or he didn't play, but I think he was injured. Or he has been injured. Now, something that's come up in the last few days is some rumors that the Lakers might be looking to trade for Reggie Jackson of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the point guard. And there was also come out that from the Oklahoma City side that it does look like Reggie Jackson is going to be traded before the trade deadline, which is about 3 weeks away now on the February 19th. What I've heard is that that Kevin Durant might not be the biggest fan of Reggie Jackson. So Kevin Durant is the franchise player, along with Russell Westbrook. So if Kevin Durant doesn't want Reggie Jackson around, then he's not going to be around. And that kind of sounds like what's happening here. So if Reggie does get dealt, would the Lakers be interested? Well, apparently, yeah, I guess. I mean, it seems that way. Could he end up with the Lakers? Sure, he could. He could. I don't know what his contract is. I'd have to look at what his contract number is and kind of figure out who the Lakers would have to give up to get him. Look, if Reggie Jackson comes to the Lakers, then I think it's extremely clear that Jeremy's probably not going to be around next year. I mean, you don't need Kobe, who's now playing more of a point guard role, and Jordan Clarkson and Reggie Jackson, along with Jeremy Lin. That's just, I mean, that would be the clearest sign of anything. There are other signs. We've heard different reports that Jeremy might not be in the plans anyway, and he might not be. He may not be, which there's a lot of fans that want Jeremy in L.A., of fans of Jeremy that want him in L.A. I've leaned towards wanting him in L.A. because I like that market for him, and I like that the location because he's from California. There's a lot of fans that don't want him in L.A. or they don't want him with the Lakers. So we'll just have to see what happens. There's going to be a lot of wheeling and dealing and positioning between now and the trade deadline, and we're just going to have to stay tuned. Anything could happen, including Reggie Jackson staying in Oklahoma City. Because the truth is, if Oklahoma City gets rid of Reggie Jackson, they're going to have a hole to fill. They need Reggie Jackson, which means they would need somebody to fill his spot if they get rid of him. Now, to be honest with you, that could actually work out really well for Jeremy Lin if Jeremy Lin ended up going to Oklahoma City. He's not going to start in front of Russell Westbrook, but they need a backup point guard. If they get rid of Reggie Jackson, they need a backup point guard. So we'll see. I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. Do I think Jeremy would stay in Oklahoma City? Probably not, but who knows? I don't know. We'll just have to take it again. Let's take it one thing at a time here, because I do think there's tension between Durant and Reggie Jackson. But the GM of Oklahoma City has to know you cannot deal Reggie Jackson and not get something back. Because if you do that, you're going to have even a worse chance of missing the playoffs this year. They're already not in the playoffs right now as we speak. They're number 10th in the West. And if you make the playoffs, who's your backup point guard? So this is, it's going to be interesting. Nothing would surprise me with it. Nothing. Whether Jackson stays in Oklahoma City, he's dealt somewhere else, he's dealt to the Lakers for Jeremy, I wouldn't be surprised by anything. We'll see. I don't know if that would work, though, because of Jeremy's salary number. But I don't know. Well, I just don't have a chance to look at that right now, so I can't say. Okay, we've also learned that Linsanity merchandise is now being sold in the LA Lakers store. And some people are like, what does that mean? He's going to stay? Does that mean he's going to be around? Now they're marketing him more aggressively. I don't know. I mean, Jeremy's cash. I mean, he's got so many fans that, you know, I've joked before, he's almost like a walking ATM machine. And there's a lot of money to be made from that. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could just mean that the Lakers want to cash him out now before he leaves in the summer. It could mean he might stick around. I don't know. Also, we heard that Jeremy will apparently be doing a question and answer session at Staples Center, I guess, on February 23rd. Now, that is after the trading deadline. So if the team is putting that out, and I'm assuming it was the team that put that information out, then that would seem to be a signal to Jeremy's fans and to the rest of the Lakers fans, we're not trading him. That doesn't mean he's going to be here next summer or next season, but we're not going to trade him. Now, is that true? I mean, could it change even if they announced it? Sure, it could change. But they might want to trade Jeremy Lin. They might not be able to trade him because of his contract. And as somebody said to me on Twitter, and this is a good point, they might be interested in holding on to Jeremy and then letting him go in the summer, because then they have $8 million or whatever to sign a new free agent. And this goes back to the theories and the thoughts that they just signed him for his contract. But, of course, they got his contract and they got a first-round draft pick. Now, do I believe that? No, I didn't believe it when it was said at the time. I think the Lakers had genuine interest in Jeremy. We've talked before about how Mitch Kupchak has been interested in Jeremy for years. So I don't think that was the reason they got him. But they might have come to a decision that that's what they're going to do now. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how things work out. Tonight's game was a sellout, as I alluded to earlier. This is the third consecutive game that the Lakers have sold out at home with Kobe not playing. Now, two of those games at least, and I don't remember the third one, two of them, one came against the Washington Wizards. Tonight's game was against Chicago. I don't remember the game before Washington right now. Washington and Chicago are pretty big markets. So you might have a lot of people that moved from Washington or moved from Chicago. And so you might have a better chance of selling out those games than you do against a team like Indiana or Sacramento. And, of course, tonight, Pau was coming home for the first time. So I'm not going to say that everything's all set for the Lakers. But still, to be able to have 3 consecutive sellouts with Kobe out, that's impressive. That's good. And the Lakers and the buses need that money, as we've discussed before. The buses' primary income for the whole family, from what I understand, is from the Lakers. So they need sellouts. They need ratings on the TV broadcast of the Lakers, and et cetera. And look, I don't know about the ratings, but at least the tickets have been sold the last 3 games. And you can't underestimate Jeremy in that, particularly in Southern California. He does draw people. He will draw people. There's no question about it. Now, going along with that, kind of the popularity of Jeremy, and just his fans, I know some of you will be interested to hear that the NBA has just reached a deal to televise NBA games in China. We have listeners and our viewers in China. I know at least a couple, even though it's whatever the situation is with YouTube over there. And so that's really cool. So you guys are going to be able to see more games over there. And look, it's a great thing. Now, again, I'm not saying that Jeremy Lin is the reason why the NBA is popular in China, although he certainly hasn't heard anything. That's for sure. Basketball is just exploding in popularity in Asia, and very much so as well in China. So it's great. I'm glad that that's the case, and that'll help the game and the league grow even more over there. Now, I mentioned on Twitter during this game, and I know that this is all pregame stuff, but I just want to get this in right now. A lot of Lin fans were down on Jordan Clarkson because they wanted Jeremy to be playing. And so different people were taking shots at Jordan. I felt bad about that. So I said on Twitter that, hey, fans of Jeremy's might like Jordan as well because Jordan's a quarter Filipino. And then people got mad at me, and I understand why, because apparently Kevin Ding of Bleacher Report, who is himself Asian, said something very similar about Jordan Clarkson. And he basically, I can't remember the tweet exactly. Kevin said something to the effect of, hey, Lin fans, or hey, Asian Lin fans, or something like this. I know you're not happy with Jeremy, but geez, aren't you happy about this part Asian player in Jordan Clarkson? And people weren't happy about that. A lot of people were really unhappy about that. I'm sure particularly Jeremy Lin fans. And then, so I didn't know this. I had no idea this happened. And then so I said what I said, and then people are like, dude, you're doing exactly what Kevin Ding did. You know, you're basically saying, okay, here's a token Asian, and all the Asian fans are going to be happy now, or soothed, or patted on the head. And it's not like that. A bunch of people, including Lisa Tong and Melody Ting and many others, then tweeted to me, said, Tracy, now, we don't like Jeremy because he's Asian, or we don't just like him because he's Asian. We like him because he's Jeremy. And Jordan isn't Jeremy. He's not. You're right. And I apologize. I certainly wasn't trying to step into the Kevin Ding role there. Everybody's an individual. And so there's no question about that. And Jeremy is unique. He is unique. He has a certain personality and story and just kind of an aura about him that is very different than many other players. Part of it's because he came from Harvard. Part of it's because he's Christian. Part of it's because of who he is and the way that he is as a person. He's very kind and very giving. I'm not saying Jordan isn't, but Jeremy's he's clearly like that. And that's different than a lot of other professional athletes. So I understand. I understand why people got mad at me. And Look, as I said, I put a tweet out and I said, I hope the Lakers see this, because you can't just exchange one Asian for another and think that you're going to keep Jeremy Lin's fan base, because from what I'm hearing, that's not going to happen. And I got into an argument with a writer at the beginning of this season, publicly on Twitter, who this writer essentially said that the Lakers were getting Jeremy Lin for the Asian fan base. And that's the only reason they were getting him, or that's the primary reason, because he's Asian. And that really made me mad, because I know it's false. I know that Mitch Kupchak has been chasing Jeremy for years. And then the same writer equated Jeremy Lin with Sun Yue, which is nonsense. Nothing against Sun Yue, and I hope I'm saying his Yue properly. He's not nearly as good as Jeremy Lin is. It's not even close. And so the argument that was made by that writer was so ridiculous. It was just as insulting. And so I certainly didn't want to come off like that. And again, I said, I apologize if I did. That wasn't the case. I said what I said because I felt bad that people were ripping Jordan. And I didn't think they should. I mean, it's just like Beverly, Houston. Jordan's not the coach. He's not the one that's putting out the minutes. Jordan's asked to play, and so he's playing. I hope he does well. Yeah, so it's that's what that was all about. And there was something else, but I can't remember right now. So Kevin Ding's loyalty is to the Lakers, in my opinion. Kevin's been covering the Lakers probably, 15, 16 years. So if Kevin has to choose between a player and the Lakers, my guess is he's going to choose the Lakers. Whereas my loyalty is more towards Jeremy Lin. If Jeremy Lin joins the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow, then by tomorrow we're going to start making Milwaukee Bucks videos. So I'm not tied to the Lakers. Kevin is more tied to the Lakers than I am. Finally, in this pregame talk, let me apologize to Roxette and Ian. And it's not Ian, it's Ian. And I got Ian's name incorrect, and Ian is a woman. And Ian then came earlier and left a comment on the video, one of the videos, the last long video, saying that she wasn't being demanding. She was simply asking me to meet my own stated expectation. And you know what? That's fair. That's right. I'm the one that says I'm going to do the vids. So if I say I'm going to do the vid, then people want me to do the vid. Now, just to be fair, I was just teasing those two, because I was saying, I like demanding women, because those two, quote unquote, demanded that I get off of Twitter and make the video. But that was just teasing. If I actually felt that way, it would be expressed in a much different way. People that know me and people that have seen me on Twitter, when I'm unhappy, you'll know about it. And just like the person who said that Jeremy Lin was only signed because he was Asian found out about it. So that was just playful teasing, and I, of course, didn't mean anything serious by that. Okay, let's go over the game itself. Let's go over some quarter by quarter here and see what we got. Like I said, the Lakers started the game with Jordan, Wayne Ellington, Ryan Kelly playing small forward, Jordan Hill power forward, and Robert Sacre. Now, the Lakers are evaluating their talent, as Lucy and others have said on Twitter, and I mentioned that the way that you know that is that Robert Sacre is playing. Because if the Lakers were going all out to win, Robert Sacre wouldn't be playing much, in my opinion. Not that he can't play, but he's not the first guy you would play if you wanted to win. So They are just looking at guys. And as well as looking at their guys for themselves, they are also playing some of the end of the bench guys so that other teams can see them. And this is what's known as showcasing a player. You're trying to put a player in a position to look good so that if another team wants to trade for him or acquire him, they can see him play and look good playing. And I think that might have been part of the situation with Robert Sacre. And the reason I say that is because there were rumors earlier in the season that the Cleveland Cavaliers were interested in Robert Sacre. Maybe they are still interested. I don't know. The thing about Robert is, look, Robert's not, he's not an incredibly polished player, although he has worked on his jump shot and he has worked on some inside moves. The thing about Robert is he's huge. I mean, he's a big guy. He's a legitimate center. He's at least, I would say, at least 250 pounds, probably more than that, maybe more like 260. And there are teams that are in contention that need guys like that. He can rebound some. So, yeah, I mean, I could see kind of showing him off if that's what the Lakers are doing. Wayne Ellington, I don't know. Look, Wayne's good. Wayne's played well. I want to say Wayne's like 28, 29. They're probably just looking at him. Obviously, they're just looking at Jordan Clarkson. They're just looking at Ryan Kelly, meaning they're not trying to show Clarkson and Kelly off for other teams, I don't think. Jordan Hill, I don't know. John Ireland, who is the radio play-by-play voice of the Lakers, said that they are showcasing Jordan Hill for a trade. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. Would I be surprised if Jordan got moved? No. I could see that happening. But I don't know if he will or won't. If he is going to get moved, he certainly made himself look pretty good tonight on TNT because he did have a big game. So we'll see. And Jordan Hill, as I've mentioned before this season, should thank Mike D'Antoni, because if it wasn't for Mike D'Antoni, Jordan Hill wouldn't have the jump shot that he has now, because Mike D'Antoni wanted him work on your jump shot, so that Jordan Hill could be kind of a power forward who can play away from the basket. And he's become a lot more of that, and that's because he would practice hundreds of jump shots a day because Mike D'Antoni told him to do it. So at some point, Mike D'Antoni's got to get some credit for that. Okay, early in the first, not a lot happening. So we headed to middle of the first, 10-6 for the Lakers. At that point, Jordan Clarkson already had one turnover, and Robert Sacre had got 2 personal fouls. So Carlos Boozer had already come in for him. Lakers went up 16-8 with 5 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first quarter. So, like I said, they started out hot in this game. Then at that point, with 5 minutes and 26 seconds left and the Lakers up 8 points, Jeremy came into the game for Wayne Ellington. Soon after, Jeremy had his first turnover of the game. He was driving down the right side of the paint, and the ball just got away from him. I don't know if someone poked it from behind, which we've seen Jeremy have issues with before this year. He might have just lost control of the ball. I'm really not sure. I don't think I saw a replay of it, and yeah, so it's just kind of I had to kind of figure it out. It looked like he just lost control of the ball. Okay, moving on to late in the first, Jeremy missed his first shot of the game. It was blocked. He went up to shoot the ball. I think he was looking for a foul, and the shot was blocked kind of almost underneath the rim. So just when you're as aggressive as Jeremy is, and you like going to the basket, and you're shorter, I mean, you're relatively shorter as Jeremy is as compared with all the big guys, sometimes your shot's going to get blocked. And sometimes what you do as a driver is you're almost testing the defense. You want to see if your shot's going to get blocked. You want to see how quickly guys are reacting to you. And then as the game goes on, you can adjust your game from that. So, I mean, obviously Jeremy wanted to make the shot, but I was kind of like, okay, let's see where things are here. And so I was getting a sense of that. Then Jeremy had his first score of the game. He had a step-back fadeaway jump shot from the right free throw line extended. It was a really nice move. I mean, he created a lot of separation. He was either being guarded by Jimmy Butler or Tony Snell, I believe, and I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Butler. And he just did a hard dribble where the defender expects you to keep going forward on your dribble. So the defender moves backward, anticipating that, and then you stop and you move backward, and now you've got several feet of space from which you can take a jump shot pretty much without any problems. And that's what Jeremy did, and he hit it. It was a nice move and a nice shot. Then Jeremy had just a fantastic play. This was for another scored basket. He caught the ball, and now I think this is what Todd was referring to in terms of New York Lin. That's what it looked like. He caught the ball like at the top of the key, right around that area, which is, again, the semicircle on top of the free throw line. And there were 4 Bulls between him and the basket. There were basically 2 Chicago players at like the elbows of the lane, which is where the free throw line meets the lane. And there were 2 Bulls on the lower boxes, kind of on either side of the rim. But they weren't paying enough attention to Jeremy. And so what Jeremy did is he just caught the ball on a pass and just went right through all 4 of those guys, right down the middle of the lane for a scoop layup. And it was awesome. That was just sweet. This is the reason why I was so happy with the way Jeremy played tonight. He was extremely decisive tonight. Byron Scott all year long, and Kobe, but particularly Byron, because Byron's had more to say about it, has talked about Jeremy being more decisive, meaning make your decision quickly and don't dribble the ball for 15 seconds looking for a shot. Either you got the shot and take it or pass the ball. And so what Jeremy was doing tonight was bang, bang, bang. Got the ball, drive to the basket, fade away jump shot, boom, within a couple seconds. This basket right here, caught the ball immediately, went right to the basket. That's Byron ball. So not only did Jeremy play well, but he played well within the system. Again, from a Jeremy Lin fan perspective, I don't care if Jeremy stays in LA in terms of his career arc here. Jeremy being able to play within a system that he's just learning. He's never played in this system before this year, and that he doesn't like. This isn't a system made for him. That's progress. That's the thing that makes me the most happy about this game. Jeremy really is starting to progress in this offense. And I said this on Twitter, and I was sarcastic about it. It's not a coincidence that Jeremy's more decisive with Kobe not around. Now, is it all Kobe's fault? No. You can't blame everything on Kobe. But Kobe has a strong personality. He's a basketball icon. And he and Jeremy are pretty much playing the same position right now, which is combo guard, meaning a combination of the point guard and the shooting guard. The point guard has to distribute the ball, traditionally, and the shooting guard is looking to score. And so Jeremy and Kobe are both doing that right now. Earlier in the season, Kobe was playing shooting guard, score. But recently, since he came back before the rotator cuff injury, after Kobe came back from taking the rest, he was playing more of a point guard. So it's difficult for Kobe and Jeremy to play on the floor at the same time. Kobe doesn't want to just score, because that's not working right now. And Jeremy's not a good enough shooter yet to just spot up and shoot. So they're both fulfilling the same spot. And so it's difficult. And so when they are on the court together, well, if they're both playing the same spot, then Jeremy's going to be thinking about getting Kobe the ball, with the thought being, well, Kobe can play the spot better than Jeremy can. Or at least that's what Byron thinks, and Jeremy wants to play, so he's going to give the ball to Kobe. Now with Kobe out, Jeremy doesn't think about that. It just makes it a lot easier. It just makes it a lot easier for Jeremy to have that thing removed from the equation. Jeremy doesn't have to think about if he's a better point guard than Wayne Ellington. Now, he does have to think about it some with Nick, because Nick can make plays and Nick likes to handle the ball. Is Nick as good of a point guard as Jeremy? No. But Nick might think he is. And so with Kobe out and with Nick out, it's much simpler for Jeremy to function. And I think that's part of what you saw tonight, and part of what you saw in the last game, because Nick was out of that game as well, and Jeremy played well in that game. Now, with Jordan on the floor, then there is more shared responsibility. And the way that Byron's offense works is that both guards, the point guard and the shooting guard, both can initiate the offense. Like they almost take turns. So that's kind of how it goes as well. But I thought Jeremy worked well with Jordan, essentially. Jordan was aggressive. I mean, he's an aggressive player. But I don't think there wasn't a lot of conflict between Jordan and Jeremy tonight, and that's good. So that's, again, like I said, that's good to see, and things have been easier for Jeremy with a couple of the guys not playing, I think. Okay, so at the end of the first quarter, the score was 28-19 Lakers, and Jeremy Lin had 4 points, no rebounds, no assist, and he did have the one turnover. Okay, now Jeremy was starting. He was still on the floor at the beginning of the second quarter, and I think at this point, Wayne Ellington had come back on. So what happened when Jeremy came on in the first quarter, he was playing shooting guard to Jordan Clarkson's point guard. Now Jeremy was playing point guard to Wayne Ellington at shooting guard. So Jordan went and sat down between quarters, and Wayne Ellington came on, which I think that's a decent substitution pattern for Bryant, because Jeremy can play both roles. So why not let him do that? And you're missing two of your shooting guards. So you need somebody to kind of fill the gap, and that's what Jeremy did. And Ronnie didn't play again. So this might be the case here now. Jeremy plays more at home. Maybe Ronnie plays more on the road. Or maybe it won't be the case. Maybe it'll just be a thing of Ronnie doesn't play a lot from here on out. I don't know. But like I said, if I had to make a decision about where I was going to play a guy, I would play Jeremy Lin in Los Angeles, because I think that's going to work better for selling tickets and making fans happy. Okay, now, Jeremy then had his first assist to Ed Davis. Ed was right beside the rim, and Jeremy found him, and Ed shot a little layup off of the glass, which went in. Then Aaron Brooks hit a shot over Jeremy, and Aaron wanted a foul, and then they kind of fell on top of each other. Aaron these guys were teammates in Houston. Aaron's a tough guy. He's not a big guy. He's a small dude. He's a lot shorter than Jeremy is, and he's not very big physically in terms of size, muscle, bulk. He's a tough guy. And if he gets on a roll, he can really be a handful. And he got on a pretty good roll tonight. He had 15 points, but Jeremy was going at him, and that's good. That's exactly what you need to do. Then Jeremy had a nice play where he was very patient. He was looking to make an entry pass into the post. So that's a post entry pass. And he didn't have a clear angle to do it, and he didn't force it. We've talked before throughout this entire season about Jeremy forcing passes. And he didn't do it on this instance, and that was really good. Take your time, wait until you clearly have an avenue to make the pass, and then make the pass. I don't know how many times I've mentioned in videos where it's like, dude, if you just wait 2 more seconds, you'll have a clear path. And he wasn't doing that. This is where we'd say, oh, Jeremy's anxious, or he's lost his confidence, or this type of thing. Well, he didn't. He was much better about that tonight. Like I said, he had 2 turnovers in this game, and neither one of them were bad. They weren't passive turnovers. They were, well, one was an aggressive turnover, Jeremy driving to the basket, and the other was just a kind of, it was, something of a passive turnover, but honestly, it had more to do with super aggressive Chicago defense than it had to do with passive Jeremy Lin. So that was really good to see. Then Jeremy had his 3rd score of the game. He went right past Aaron Brooks on the dribbling to his left and to Aaron Brooks's right past him, and then he crossed over in the lane and just went up and finished right over Taj Gibson with a strong layup off the glass. So, like I said, this was just super aggressive. He just had it in his head that, he's attacking tonight, and that's exactly what he did. But he also got his assist. It's like I said, he's clearly progressing this year. Again, he's got all different factors that he has to figure out this year. He has to figure out the offense. He has to figure out his new teammates. He has to try to fit in with Kobe. He's got to try to improve his own skill set, shooting, dribbling, etc. And he's doing that. It's just, it takes time. It's much harder for a journeyman or for a player who's changing teams all the time. They have to learn to adjust quickly, because if you don't, you're gone. Whereas players that are more established stars, they have time because they're not leaving their team. They're not going anywhere, and things are being built around them. So for Jeremy, and I'm not saying Jeremy's a journeyman, but what's great with Jeremy is the more that he plays in different systems, like the Houston system, like Byron Scott's system, the quicker he will adapt to new systems. At some point, it all becomes very similar. There's only so many strategies and so many plays. And so I'm just happy with this. Even if Jeremy is not in LA next year, his being able to successfully adapt to this system is going to help him going forward regardless of where he plays. And that's important for him. That's really important. Okay, then I just made a note, decisive Jeremy. He's just not thinking. He's reacting now, which is exactly what the team has been looking for from him. Then I think Jeremy passed the ball to Carlos Boozer, and Carlos hit a jump shot, and Jeremy was not given an assist. And there were people on Twitter complaining about Jeremy not getting an assist, and I don't know which play they were complaining about. They were either complaining about that play or a play that happened like a minute or two later in which Carlos Boozer got a tip-in layup. Let me just say this. I missed the play with Carlos hitting a jumper because I was writing a note when the play happened. If people were upset about the Carlos Boozer layup, Jeremy's not going to get credit for that because he passed the ball to whoever it was, like Wesley. Wesley missed the layup, and then Carlos Boozer followed the layup miss up. So Jeremy's not going to get credit for that, if that's the play. Now, if it was on the jump shot, the Carlos shot, I don't know, but the scorer if that was the case, the scorer of the game must have made a determination that Carlos Boozer made his own move. In other words, Jeremy might have given him the ball, and then Carlos did his own thing, and then Carlos hit the jump shot. And that's a very fine line, a really fine line between should it be an assist or should it not be an assist. Because I didn't see the play, I can't really comment about it. I will tell you this, though. Jeremy was given an assist later in the game that I didn't think he was going to get on a jump shot made by Robert Sacre. So it's an art, not a science sometimes with these assists. And it's something that makes people mad all the time, almost every single game. So, okay, then Jeremy, this is still early in the second, Jeremy had his fourth score. He hit a jumper from the free throw line. Ed Davis handed him the ball, kind of like a handoff, and Ed set a screen, and Jeremy basically received the pass, went right behind Ed Davis, and just hit a shot right behind the screen. It was just perfect, right on the free throw line area. And it was, look, like I said, it was the cleanest, most precise version of Jeremy that I can recall seeing this year. Very little thinking, very confident in what he did, and very quick in what he did. And as I mentioned, that's what Byron wants. And again, even if the Lakers have decided to move on from Jeremy, this is going to help him wherever he goes next year. And I've said this before, and I know that Lin fans know this doesn't have to be said. But for everybody else, Jeremy is playing next year. He doesn't belong in the league. Nobody's going to take him. No, he's going to be in the league. Jeremy, I mean, even in Houston when he lost his starting spot, so to speak, or whatever you want to call it, he is highly valued as a backup player at worst. So, I mean, he's seen as like the sixth or seventh man for Houston on a good team. I mean, teams need that. The question is Jeremy going to start? It's not, is he going to be in the league? Of course he's going to be in the league. I mean, he's really good. So he'll be on a team next year, just depending on where's he going to be and is he going to be the starter. Now, then I put the blown assist, and this is what I was talking about before. Jeremy passed the ball to Wesley. Wesley missed the layup, and then Carlos Boozer tipped in the miss. And even though Jeremy made the play happen, you don't get credit for that because Wesley missed the layup, basically. Okay, now TNT, and I was not listening to the game. I was watching the game on TNT, but I did not have the audio on, which I'll do a lot. I just don't want to hear everything, and I want to make my own opinions. But they were then showing a camera on Jeremy, so I could tell they were focusing on him because he kind of had a little insanity role going here. Score, pass, score, pass, score, pass. Make everything happen. And look, I mean, this is what he can do, and this is the way he needs to do it. We've talked before about when you are a reserve player, when you come off the bench, you must come in aggressive. You don't have time to kind of feel your way through the game. Starters have more time to kind of find their way. Bench players have to come in and bang, bang, be hot right from the get-go. And that's what Jeremy did in this game. And it was great. I said, I'm not saying he should be a bench player, but you want to excel whatever your role is. And the best way to excel at a thing is to know how to do it well. So if they're playing you off the bench, then you play well off the bench. And that's what Jeremy did in this situation. And it's great to see. Then I think Jeremy, he caused Aaron Brooks to travel underneath the basket. So he basically forced a turnover. There's no statistic for that, or there's no simple statistic for that, meaning that somebody might keep track of that somewhere, but I don't know it, and it's not a common statistic. But essentially, he forced Aaron Brooks and the Bulls into a turnover. So it was great. Like I said, this was a little insanity sequence here. essentially, in a very short period of time. At that point, there was a timeout, I believe, on the court, just meaning a TV timeout. The score was 38-29 for the Lakers with 8 minutes and 26 seconds left in the quarter. And TNT then faded to commercial with J-Lin doing the no-look pass to Wesley Johnson for the blown layup. It was a really nice play. Jeremy was coming down on the right side of the paint, and he, did the look away and then passed to Wesley Johnson, and that's the play that TNT went to commercial off of. So that was pretty cool. And at that point in time, Jeremy already had 8 points. So he started hot in this game. Okay, back to commercial, going on in the middle of the second. Then Jeremy had his second assist. He dropped the ball off to Ed Davis for a little running layup. Ed hit over Joakim Noah. Then I put nice, disciplined defensive rotations from Jeremy. And we've talked before about him not being sharp or over-helping, kind of being out of position. He wasn't like that tonight. Thought he really was strict and on point with his defense. And this is probably the third game in a row that he's played good defense. I would say at least that. He's really tightened up lately. So in all facets. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the lights turned on in his head. He's comfortable with Byron's system more. Kobe's out. Whatever it is, whatever set of factors have come into play, he's definitely playing better. So that's just good to see. And at this point in the game, Jeremy was going against Derrick Rose rather than Aaron Brooks. So Derrick had come back into the game for Aaron, I guess. And Jeremy missed his second field goal in transition. He came down the right side of the paint in transition. Then he stopped and did his pivot move. And at that point in time, it was basically Jeremy against 3 Bulls. And there were no Lakers around to pass to or to get a rebound. Jeremy wasn't sure what he should do, and he decided to take the shot, and he missed it. And I think if he had been more decisive about shooting on that play, he would have had a better chance to hit the shot. But he wasn't sure if he should take the shot. And it's a common thing that happens. He was kind of caught, and he wasn't sure if he should wait to pass the ball or shoot it, and he decided to shoot it. Then he had his third assist, and this was to Wesley Johnson for a made jump shot. And soon after that play, there was a timeout with the score 46-35 for the Lakers and 5 minutes and 5 seconds left. And during that timeout, Jeremy came out of the game for Jordan Clarkson. And so when the lead would maintain at 11 points from when Jeremy left until we went into halftime. So at the break, Jeremy had 8 points, 3 assists, and the 1 turnover. And the second quarter was the best quarter of the game for Jeremy. So if you watch highlights or whatever, definitely the quarter you will see the most of, or was the best for Jeremy, was the second quarter. Okay, then going into early in the third, Jordan Clarkson was having some nice offensive rebounds. He had a couple of offensive rebounds in a very short period of time, and they were good. This is where his size and athleticism come into play because he is pretty big. Middle of the third, Jeremy came in for Wayne Ellington, and that came with 6 minutes and 25 seconds left, and the Lakers were still up by 11 points. So the lead had stayed the same from when Jeremy left or late in the second until now, early in the third. Then he had his 4th assist of the game to Robert Sacre for a jump shot, and that was the one I did not know if they were going to give Jeremy an assist on that play. Jeremy passed the ball to Robert Sacre. Robert Sacre, he kind of made a turnaround move. I mean, he didn't make too much of a move, but it was enough of a move where I wasn't sure Jeremy would get the assist. And I was glad that he got the assist. And who knows, maybe they were making up for the earlier play. You never know. Okay, then Jeremy had a nice defensive sequence where this was really good the Bulls were coming down. I think it was in transition, but it might have been the half court. I'm not sure. Derrick Rose was driving on the right side of the court, right side of the basket area. And Derrick Rose had two plays he could make. He either could continue driving to the basket because he had a step on his defender, or else he could pass the ball into the corner for an open man in the right corner. Jeremy was caught between defending Derrick Rose to help out to defend Derrick Rose on help defense and guarding the man in the corner. And he did it perfectly here. He got enough of a presence to bother Derrick Rose on his drive and kind of throw him off rhythm without leaving his man wide open. So whatever happened on the play, Jeremy was ready. He was ready to go back to his man if he needed to. But Derrick Rose decided to stay with the drive, and he missed it. And a big reason why he missed it is because Jeremy harassed him. So that was just, again, that was fantastic defense. And that's the way that you play help defense properly. And it was great. It was executed really well. Then Jeremy was fouled on his own drive. He had gotten past Derrick Rose, and he was in the act of shooting, I believe. So he got 2 free throws, missed the first one, and he made the second one. Then Jeremy missed his third field goal of the game. He had a left-handed drive, very good drive, really good, but it just was the wrong angle off the backboard. Now, this is the type of thing where people were talking about Jeremy's missing too many layups. Look, that's true, and that's fair, but he's going at big guys on these shots, and you're not going to hit all of them, even if you're taking a better percentage floater versus a bank shot off the backboard. Honestly, it was a very good drive, and the shot looked good. The thing is, again, when you're Jeremy's height, you have to alter your shot frequently because you're dealing with these huge guys. And I think that's a lot of what happens for Jeremy. Either he's having to alter his shot, or else he's worried he's going to have to alter it, and that's what results in him missing. So he just has to keep working on it. I just keep working at it. And if you can perfect some floaters or teardrop, really high arcing shots, well, then you can try to shoot it the same every time, because it doesn't matter, because it's so high, nobody's going to block it. Okay, then Jordan and Jeremy, he had missed a shot before that too, which I did not see. So that was actually his fourth missed field goal of the game. Then Jordan had a nice steal. He stole the ball. I think Derrick Rose went to make a pass, and Jordan just jumped up and grabbed it out of the air, and then he took it down and scored. And that was a nice play. Again, Jordan is athletic. He is really long arms, long reach, and you could see it on that play. Then Jeremy had his fifth missed field goal of the night. He was on the right top of the key extended, so it's kind of like a little bit further away than the top of the key to the right side, and he just missed a shot. At this point in time, the Bulls had really cranked up their defense, and the Lakers were not getting good shots. And that shot by Jeremy wasn't a great shot. He came off of a screen, kind of off of motion in the offense, and he thought he was going to be open, but he wasn't. So it was just it wasn't a great miss, but a lot of the shots the Lakers took around that period of time were not great misses. Okay. Then Aaron Brooks got a couple of 2 made threes against Jordan Clarkson in a row, so that was difficult. That cut the lead down, the second one of those, to 78-76 for the Lakers. So the Bulls were making their charge, and the way that they usually play best is playing better defense, which they cranked up, and they like to get offensive rebounds. Even if they miss, they have their big guys inside, and they'll just go in for offensive rebounds and get putbacks, and that's exactly what they were doing at that point in time, along with hitting 3-pointers by Aaron Brooks. Okay.
Then you could see that Jordan was bringing the ball up, and Jeremy was looking back at Byron Scott and trying to get the play calls. So he was letting kind of Jordan do his thing. Jeremy would get the play call, and I think Byron was kind of telling him, just let Jordan do whatever. Just don't worry about getting the ball. Let Jordan run it. And so that's what Jeremy was doing. The end of 3 quarters, it was 80-76 for the Lakers, so the lead had shrunk down to 4 points. Start of the 4th quarter, this was the same as what we saw in the start of the 2nd quarter, which is Jeremy Lin on the court, now playing point guard because Jordan Clarkson had went to sit down and Wayne Ellington's in for Jordan Clarkson. And also Jeremy was going against Aaron Brooks at this point in time. Then Jeremy had a nice defense on Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks tried to get by him to get a layup, and Aaron ended up shooting a brick off the backboard, I think it was, because Jeremy was all over him. Then Aaron got a nice little pick and roll set for him. Jeremy got held up on the screen, and then it became Aaron Brooks is basically being guarded by Carlos Boozer, and Carlos Boozer wasn't able to stop him, so Aaron got a layup. Then Jeremy on the other end was fouled by Aaron Brooks, and it was a smart play. Jeremy basically stopped his momentum. He was driving down the right side of the lane, and he stopped, and Aaron Brooks was trying to guard him, and Aaron Brooks just ran into him. That's a play that Chris Paul does all the time. He'll be dribbling and moving forward, and then he'll just stop. And then the defender will run into him, and he'll get a foul. And that's what Jeremy did there, and it was a good play. Didn't get any free throws. That was he was not in the act of shooting, and the Bulls were not in the penalty. Then Jeremy had a blown assist, passed the ball to Ed Davis, who missed like a little bit of a kind of a sweeping hook. This is where Jeremy had his second turnover of the game. The score was 84-81, and Chicago was really playing intense defense now. They were guarding the men without the ball and just making it hard to pass it. And Jeremy had driven to the right side of the court and the front court on the Lakers side of the court, and the shot clock was running down, and he didn't have anybody to pass to, and he had already stopped dribbling. And so with just a few seconds left in the shot clock, he looked over his shoulder, kind of pivoted around, and I believe he wanted to pass the ball to either Wayne Ellington or Wesley Johnson. And Jimmy Butler read the play, and as soon as Jeremy made the pass, Jimmy Butler stole the ball and went down for a dunk. So, it was just a great play. It was something of a quote-unquote passive play by Jeremy, where it's an unforced error, but in that instance, I got to give the credit to Chicago's defense. They were just swarming at that period of time, and it was more of that than anything Jeremy did. So those was only 2 turnovers of the night. Stripped or lost the ball in a drive and that play. That's not bad, particularly against a defense. I mean, Chicago doesn't play consistently good defense this year like they have in the past, but they still can play good defense when they want to. And they were doing that there. Okay, then Kirk Heinrich missed a 3-pointer that would have given the Bulls the lead. So the momentum was definitely at that point in time was shifting back to the Bulls. But now the Lakers are about to kind of regain it. Wayne Ellington had a couple of nice layups, and then Jeremy had his 5th and final assist of the game midway through the 4th. For Carlos Boozer, shot kind of like a little baby hook, short hook. That made the score 88-83 for the Lakers. And now I put the Lakers are picking up their intensity, matching the intensity of the Bulls. So other team picks it up, you got to pick it up, or else you're going to get blown off the court. And the Lakers picked it up, and they were able to do it. Then Jeremy had his 5th and final score of the game. He hit a little floater, which I did not see, but I know it was a floater because Todd on Twitter said it was a floater. So I trust that, and that's Again, Todd has pointed out that a lot of times Jeremy doesn't use floaters, even though he used to use them in New York. So he's capable of shooting them, and I guess he shot one there, and that's a good sign. That made the score 90-83 for the Lakers. So they're up 7 here. We're midway through the fourth quarter. Then Jeremy fouled Jimmy Butler on a switch, so they ran a pick and roll and got Jeremy isolated against Jimmy Butler, basically on the left elbow area around the free throw line. Butler wanted the ball, was almost going to kind of post up Jeremy. Jeremy knew what they were doing, so he just fouled Jimmy Butler, which was a pretty smart play because then he wasn't kind of in a mismatch against Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler didn't get any free throws out of it, so that was good. Then Jeremy missed his 6th and final attempt of the game. He went by Derrick Rose. It was a good drive. It was a good, aggressive drive. He then missed the layup, and then Robert Sacre got the follow. Look, I didn't... Sure, we want Jeremy to hit every single layup he takes. The thing about that was a hard drive, and it ended up in basically an easy offensive rebound for his teammate. So that's not a bad play. Even though Jeremy didn't hit the shot, that still ended up being okay. That made the score 92-83 for the Lakers. Chicago took a timeout. We had 5 minutes and 39 seconds left. On one of the next plays, Jeremy basically shoved Kirk Heinrich, and it was kind of like they were wrestling for position. It was good because Jeremy was showing aggressiveness and assertiveness. The Bulls are a very physical team, and they will bully you if you let them bully you. And basically that little play was, no, you're not bullying me. And so I was happy that Jeremy did that. Okay, then he had a tough defensive sequence where Derrick Rose got by him for a little bank shot on the left side of the basket. It was a nice play by Derrick Rose. That made the score 92-87 for the Lakers. Then Jeremy had a blown assist to Wes Johnson, who came off of a curl play and missed a shot. Then Jeremy had nice defense against Derrick Rose, kind of came up to him in transition, I believe, and forced Rose into a missed three-point attempt. And right after that play, Byron Scott put Jordan Clarkson in. This was 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter, 92-87 for the Lakers. And I think Byron wanted to put Jordan in anyway. But I think what Byron might have seen at that period of time was Derrick Rose starting to get really aggressive. And maybe let's get Jordan on him with a little bit more athleticism and a little bit taller to kind of slow him down. Look, it would have been nice if Jeremy got to finish the regulation off. He did play the first 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, and I still think that Byron wanted to let Jordan play again. And that was the opportunity that he saw to do it, so he did it. Okay. Then Jordan got beat on defense, and Derrick Rose was wide open for a three-pointer, and he missed it. And that was fortunate. So if Byron's idea was to get Jordan in there for defense, it certainly didn't pay off in that play. Okay, but then Jordan had a really nice. It was a steal, but it was more like Derrick Rose dribbled the ball off his foot. In transition, Derrick Rose basically, with a right-handed dribble, hit the ball off of his right foot, I think. And Jordan just picked it off and went right down himself in transition for, I think that was a score. Yeah, that was a nice play. It was Derrick Rose's fault, but Jordan was playing good defense on him, and that's basically what forced Derrick Rose into messing up his dribble. So that was good. Then Jordan had a nice play. He drove on the left-hand side of the basket. He scored a layup off the glass, or a runner, was actually more appropriate of what it was, and he got fouled. So it was a little and one play. I think it was against Derrick Rose, and you could see Jordan kind of like do a little swag move after. It was great. This was with 1:29 left, and this was the play that I said on Twitter, that's ball game. And I believe that Jordan made the free throw afterwards, and that put the Lakers up 98-89. So there was 1 minute and 29 seconds left. Chicago called a timeout, and everything looked good for the Lakers. They were up by 9 points. And then it wasn't over quite yet. I think Aaron Brooks hit a three-pointer, and then Lakers missed, or they had a turnover, and then I think Tony Snell hit a layup. That made it 98-94, so now it was only a 4-point game with 53 seconds left. And then Jordan Clarkson turned the ball over, and Jimmy Butler got a dunk. So now we're to 98-96 with 40 seconds left. So now we went from like celebration time to like, oh my gosh, in literally like 50 seconds of playing time, which is crazy. And then Then Jordan Clarkson forced a shot and he missed it. It was a bad shot. And then I don't know. I guess the Bulls had gotten a free throw or something. Oh, no. I take that back. Yeah. The Jimmy Butler dunk had made it 98-96. And then Jordan took a bad shot and he missed it. And then the Bulls came down. They missed a horrible miss. It was I think it was a miss off a three-pointer that was like an air ball, but Pau got the ball and he tipped it in or something like that. And that made the score 98-98 with 11 seconds left. So as I said before, the Lakers blew a 9-point lead in 1 minute and 18 seconds. And it was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was quite a shock to the system. I just didn't think it was going to happen like that. But it did. So then finally the Lakers got the final play of regulation, got the ball to Jordan Hill. Jordan Hill missed a short hook shot against Pau Gasol. So at the end of regulation, Jeremy Lin, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 turnovers, and 5 assists, not 5 rebounds. He had 0 rebounds. And that was going to be his final stats of the game because he would not play any of the remaining 10 minutes that took place in the 2 overtimes. So we went into the first overtime. Jordan Clarkson, Wayne Ellington, Wesley Johnson, Jordan Hill, Robert Sacre. All the same starters except for Wesley Johnson playing small forward position rather than Ryan Kelly. Came out. Derrick Rose hits a three-pointer quickly off of the he missed it, I can't remember. Anyway, the Bulls went up 103-100. Then Jordan Clarkson had he was blocked. He had a blocked shot. He went for a shot that was blocked. He actually tried to do Jeremy's pivot move, and then he missed 2 terrible jump shots, just poor decisions. Really not good decisions. Like he was rushing and getting a little too nervous. Like we say about Jeremy, don't force things. Well, Jordan had 3 forces there, and it did not look good for the Lakers. That was when, that point in time, 105-100 for the Bulls. And then Derrick Rose turned the ball over. Jordan Clark was fouled on a shot attempt. That he made both free throws. That made the score 105-102. Then Joakim Noah missed a jumper. Wayne Ellington missed a jumper after that. Aaron Brooks missed a jumper. Then it was Chicago got the offensive rebound, and then Chicago then went out of over and back. They passed the ball and it went over the midcourt line, which you're not allowed to do. So the Lakers got the ball back. Lakers got a timeout. Out of the timeout, Wayne Ellington scored a layup, which made the score 105-104. Pau Gasol was then fouled. He hit 1 of 2 free throws to make the score 106-104 with 35 seconds left. Then Wayne Ellington missed a shot. The ball went out of bounds, I think, to the Lakers. The Lakers then took a timeout with 20 seconds left in the first overtime. They came out of the timeout. Jordan Hill nailed a long jump shot. That made it 106 to 106 all. Chicago took a timeout with 16 seconds left so they could get the final play of the first overtime. The ball went into Derrick Rose, and he bricked a shot, and that was how we ended the first overtime. Heading into the second overtime, same group of Lakers on the floor as to start the overtime, and there hadn't been any substitutions. No substitutions yet. Lakers scored first in the second overtime. They then went up 112 to 109. Right around that period of time, Robert Sacre got an offensive foul. He fouled out. Carlos Boozer came in. That was the only switch that the Lakers made in the two overtimes, and that was because they had to make it. Okay. Then Jordan Hill hit a jumper. That made it 114 to 109 for the Lakers with 1 minute and 53 seconds left. Bulls answered 114-111. Wesley Johnson then got a nice little follow-up basket. That put the Lakers up 5. Bulls couldn't hit anything. Jordan Clarkson was fouled on a shot. That fouled Jimmy Butler out of the game. Jordan Clarkson, 2 free throws, hit them both, 118 to 111 for the Lakers. Then Wayne Ellington got 2 free throws, 120 to 111 for the Lakers. Chicago made a little desperate comeback, got 7 points back, but that was all she wrote, and the Lakers hang on for the hard-fought 2-overtime victory. Look, this was a fun game to watch. It was just of itself. If you're not a fan of Jeremy Lin or any, watching the game was fun. If you're just like a casual fan. Now, there was some ugly basketball, some bad mistakes in this game, but in terms of the ebb and flow of the game, it was fun to watch it. It was an enjoyable game. Lakers had it set, then they blew it, then the Bulls had it all going for them in the first overtime, then they blew it. The Lakers pulled away and got the home win, and Pau Gasol's return ruined, and the Lakers don't get the 10-game losing streak to tie the franchise worst. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching the game. I was happy for Jordan because he had struggled there for a bit, and then he kind of got redemption. I was happy for Jeremy. And the amount of time that Jeremy played, and in the kind of hybrid role that he played, point guard / shooting guard, he played great. Yeah, he missed a couple things around the rim. Okay, that's fine. That happens. You see how many Derrick Rose missed around the rim tonight? So I've said this a lot lately, and I'll say it again now. Jeremy's last 3 performances, if I'm remembering correctly here, are some of the best basketball he's played the entire year. And every time that he comes out, I think he's a little bit better than the last time. In his short stint tonight, I think he played about as well as he's played the entire year on both ends of the court, playing Byron ball. Now, he might have put up better numbers earlier in the year when he was playing Lin ball, kind of like I'm going to dribble and I'm going to make decisions. But tonight he played within Byron's system. He played great defense. He was more decisive than any other time he's been this year. He played fantastic. So it's like I'm thrilled. And I know there are a lot of Lin fans that didn't want the team to win because Lin wasn't in and he didn't start, so you didn't want the team to do well. And I understand that. This was great. This was, again, forget about Byron or Jordan or any of that. Jeremy played really well in this game. And this is going to help him going forward, regardless of wherever he goes. Maybe they're showcasing Jeremy. Maybe Jeremy's showcasing himself for a contender. Maybe that's part of what it is. Maybe he's picking up his game because he's heard all these rumors. Maybe he's thinking, look, if I play well, maybe one of these better teams that are in contention will pick me up. I don't know. I have no idea. But I love the way he's playing. And hopefully we can get more of this in the next game. Because The trend is very positive for Jeremy right now. And I know he was a -5, and that was the worst on the team, but he played well in this game, really well. So the next game coming up will be 3 days from now. So we got a 2-day break. It will take place in the United States on Sunday, February 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which means that's an early start on the West Coast, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. And that means it will be at very early 3 a.m. in the middle of the night on Monday, February 2nd in China, Taiwan, and in the Philippines. So that's going to be tough viewing for those guys. A lot easier for us on the East Coast specifically, which is rarely the case. Against the Knicks, certainly a winnable game. It's in New York, and I will say this. New York is playing better since they've gotten rid of a lot of guys. They're actually playing fairly well right now. So that's not as easy of a game as it might have been 2 weeks ago. But that's going to be interesting. And Jeremy's going back to his old stomping grounds, back to Linsanity 1.0 and Mellow and the Garden and everything. So that should be a lot of fun to check out. I'm very interested to see how he and the team will be doing in that game. So, look, a fun game, an excellent win for the Lakers. They needed this win, and Jeremy played well. He played well in this game, and like I said, let's continue this positive momentum forward for him. He doesn't have to think about Kobe, whether that's negative or positive, whatever. I don't know when Nick's going to be back. Just keep playing like this. This is exactly the way that Byron and whatever other system coaches are out there, not named Mike D'Antoni, want you to play. Speaking of Mike D'Antoni, I guess there are rumors out there that Mike could become the next coach of the Denver Nuggets. I guess Brian Shaw, things aren't going great for him there. Now, of course, the Denver Nuggets have a point guard named Ty Lawson who happens to be very good. So even if Mike D'Antoni went there and Jeremy went and signed there, that doesn't mean he's going to start. But it's an interesting development. It is an interesting development, and we'll have to keep our eye on that. Look, I don't know what Ty Lawson's contract situation is. I don't know, does he want to play for Mike D'Antoni? If Mike ended up there, let's see. Let's see how it all shakes out. But that's something to keep your eye on, because there's been more and more friction between Brian Shaw and the players in Denver, and they're not doing well. And they definitely underperformed this year. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops. Okay, that is it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Your comments below. What did you think about this game? What do you think about my comments? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Thanks to Gary Chen for the great artwork you're looking at right now in front of you. We'll have more information about Gary in the video description below the video player, so you can go and check him out on Facebook. Give him some feedback. Tell him how awesome his artwork is. Gary is a blogger and artist in Taiwan. He is a member of the Jeremy Only Lynn Garden fan group, which is a great group of people who are also headquartered in Taiwan, although they have members all over the world. They are all speakers of the Chinese language, speakers of Mandarin, and that's the kind of the unifying factor for them. They're just a great group of people. Many of them also speak English, by the way. Highlights, information in the video description as well, and how you can come and join the Conservative in the Media Facebook group, and how you can come and follow us on Twitter. The original reason why I set the Twitter up was so that people could get the videos immediately, because YouTube, sometimes it takes a while for people to get like a subscription email and let them know that the video is up. And so people are like, well, why don't you go on Twitter? Then you can just put the link out as soon as it's up. And that's why I did it. Now it's, 3,100 followers later. It's just a lot of fun. We have a great time talking with people. We're very interactive. We've lost a lot of followers who love the NBA, but I just talk too much for them. And they don't want to hear about Jeremy Lin as much as I want to talk about him. So I definitely recommend that you like Jeremy Lin or be able to tolerate a lot of talk about him. from a lot of people if you come and follow us on Twitter, because we do that. And I retweet people a lot, just different Jeremy Lin fans, because many of the people who follow us don't know all the other Jeremy Lin fans. And so I like to put what people are thinking and put it out there for other people so that all the fans can see it, or at least all the fans that are following us can see it, just to kind of let people know that other people are thinking things similar to what they're thinking. And that's one of the things we like to do. And it's always great meeting new people. Met CC there tonight and a couple other people. So we happy to come and meet you there as well. Again, I am PFV Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. I am currently keeping my eye on Novak Djokovic versus Stan Wawrinka, and they are in the 5th set. 2 sets apiece, and Novak Djokovic is up 5 games to love. So barring a miracle comeback here from Stan Wawrinka, it appears as though we are going to be seeing Novak Djokovic, world #1, against Andy Murray. What is Murray ranked right now? I don't know, he's ranked maybe 6th or 8th or something like that. So those two have met at least twice in Grand Slam finals before, and I know Andy Murray won at least 2 of them. So that is a tough matchup for Novak Djokovic, but we'll be keeping our eye on that. I guess late Saturday night, tomorrow being Maria Sharapova against Serena Williams, which they've played each other many times for the women's championship. Okay, hope you have a great night, a great day, wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. We'll be looking for you in the comments and looking for you on Twitter. If you're in the Northeast or you're in the Northern Hemisphere, stay warm, because we're right in the dead of winter right now. And I know it's super cold where I'm at right now, so you might be feeling pretty cold too if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, stay cool. You want to stay cool because it's probably pretty hot. Like down in Melbourne, where the Australian Open's taking place, down in Rio, down in Buenos Aires, down in South Africa, Madagascar, everywhere else. If you're in the Philippines or somewhere else along the equator, then you're always hot. So just do your best to stay cool. Okay, that's it. Take care. We will talk to you again soon.